Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCG Fam Show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Rainy day, under the tree. Let me know in the comments what's going on. We'll talk about it after the show. Right now, let's just get into the show. Hygeia's hydration. A very useful, not kind of a nutrient, but also, very useful for especially getting moisture into the soil and keeping the moisture in the soil, keeping the soil from being hydrophobic. We had a question about that, about using Hygeia hydration for just that sort of thing when you're doing multiple replantings or you got a little thing in a big... Scott tells it a lot better than I do. I'd like you to watch the clip, and I'll talk to you after.
Julie Almonte 6355. Julie Almonte. We're not... You know who we are. What's up, guys? I have 3 separate questions for you. All right. We'll do 3. I remember Scott saying if you constantly use Hygeia, you will never have hydrophobic soil. So is there any negative effect besides financial from using Hygeia every feed or using with days-old seedlings? I dabble with autos and usually put them in their forever home. So I like to try to use Hygeia to keep the entire pot from going hydrophobic since I water in small amounts at first.
Well, that'd be good. For that.
In your particular situation, it sounds like Hygeia is a good tool for you.
For that,
it's worked well for you. Uh-huh.
Well, and that's it. Is because they're not going to be oversaturating the container at the beginning because from what I understand from the auto growers, you don't want to be transplanting them a lot because it makes them mad.
Oh, okay.
Photo plants, they don't care. They transplant them, you go through a little shock, but then they can go right back to charging. These auto plants, they don't like to have the roots disturbed a lot, so a lot of guys will start them in this container they're going to finish them in, which is fine. However, like he's saying, or they're saying,
the soil out here is not getting touched for weeks on end.
Well, like in there, I've got 300 plants planted.
Yeah.
But I have one tray that I'm going to plant something in succession, so I've left them dry.
Right.
Well, now it's hydrophobic. It's like the whole side of the tray is taking water, but this is just repelling the water. So once you get a chance to, because you're not going to use a lot of hydrogen or Hygeia in that first stage either, because you're giving them very little bits of volume at the beginning. But once they start developing, you're growing that ring of moisture. That's when the Hygeia will come in and help drag that food and moisture into those pockets that are been dried out over a 3 to 5 week period of time while you're waiting for the autoflower roots to get down in there. So adding the Hygeia after like week 2 or 3 will help keep that outer ring non-hydrophobic, so it can keep accepting moisture once you start increasing your volume.
So I'm putting this in my feed mixture?
Yeah.
Am I watering in a wider pattern than I might normally so that I get it more into the soil?
Well, not necessarily, because as we've taught if you water, then the plants don't want to grow into saturation. They want to grow out of saturation into air.
Sure.
And if they can't breathe where they're growing, they don't grow into it because they know that's death. So if you just water where the plant is, the excess that doesn't soak this area will leach into the drier areas, and the plant roots will want to go find that. So once it dries up here, the plants go look, and then they find it here, but then they dry it up. So the next watering, you water that space and a little bit further out, so then they keep wanting to search.
Following the roots, and it's going a little past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Drip line. If your canopy is this big, your drip ring is here. If your canopy is this big, your drip ring is here. Not here and not out here. And like when you look at every big tree out there, the end of its roots are at the end of the canopy because that's where the plant sheds water, and that's where those little capillary roots are sucking up the moisture to feed that tree. They're rarely at the base of the tree, and they're not 42 feet over there. They go straight down and out that far.
What do you think of that? Informative? Entertaining? Helpful? Agree? Disagree? Questions? Comments? Throw them in the comments and we'll talk about it. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. The OCG Fam Show. It's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.